from West Hollywood. It's the talk show everybody's talking about. Born to Kibitz! With your host, he's the man who would be king, the man with one red shoe, the man who shot Liberty Valance. Please welcome Kibitz.
Well, hello, and welcome to Born to Kibitz. I'm your host, Corky Bernstein, and thank you so much for joining us for the Best of Born to Kibitz Part 1. And what better way to begin than with my exclusive interview with Dr. Nathan Kendall, who pioneered petoplasty. That's right, plastic surgery for pets. What is petoplasty, Dr. Kendall? Basically.
Petoplasty is a surgical procedure by which I put human faces on animals.
So you basically reconstructed Fuzzy's face. We want to show the viewing audience what Fuzzy looked like a few days after, if this translates at all visually. And tell us about this.
This is 3 days after the accident and 1 day prior to the surgery. I have never worked on pets before, obviously. Right. I'm a licensed plastic surgeon, a cosmetic surgeon, and my practice was limited primarily to rhinoplasties and mandibular reconstruction and that sort of thing. And
nose jobs.
Proboscis, nose jobs, yeah. And that's all I knew. So in trying to fix up Fuzzy, she ended up with a human face.
Well, should we show the folks exactly what Fuzzy did end up with?
Sure.
This is what Fuzzy ended up with, ladies and gentlemen. If we could get a shot of this right here. Hello. Can we see this at all?
This is the final photo.
This is the final photo right here?
This was it, right here, this one.
And were people alarmed? What did they say? What was the reaction when they saw this photo of Fuzzy?
The first reaction was, oh, how human she looks.
Who did she look like? The
second reaction was, she looks just like Althea Parsons, who was the hostess at the Pancake House up on Route 89.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, so.
Fuzzy looked like the...
Exactly.
And we want to show them this picture. We had a picture of Althea Parsons.
That's Althea.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
That's Althea, and if I may, there's Fuzzy.
Can they see that?
I mean, you can see the resemblance is startling.
How do you do that? Tell us about this particular case, Dr. Kendall, if you could.
Emma Timmons. Are
we on a camera here so that...
Emma Timmons wanted me, this is a switch now, wanted me to work on her so that she would resemble her poodle rather than work on the poodle.
The other way around.
Now this I had never even considered before, and
amazing.
And I actually looked into it, but realized with the hair plug follicle implants and all of that kind of thing, it would have taken months and months, and the cost ended up being prohibitive.
But
so I passed on
You've got this territory covered. This is really virgin territory for you, right? You can your ability to work on pets.
I'm the only surgeon in America that I know of who's putting human faces on animals. Yes.
What about this one right here? Tell us about this, Dr. Kendall. This is a diseased rabbit that someone said it was a rabbit with a hair lip.
Not diseased. He's a slight deformity.
Can you see that?
Certainly not a disease.
And you went to work on this rabbit.
I certainly did.
Here's an example of some of the dental work. Can you give us a little...
That was an entire bridge I made for...
Do I have it right set up? I'm sorry. Bridge? Go ahead.
Fluffton was this rabbit's
Go ahead.
I did an entire
dental bridge.
Dental bridge. Brought the eyes closer together, extended the proboscis, and put on lips. And lo and behold, if he didn't look like Billy Graham.
And here's what the rabbit ended up looking like, ladies and gentlemen. Can you see this at all?
That's actually Billy Graham, but
that's Reverend Billy Graham.
But if you saw a picture of Fluffton now with glasses, you would swear it was Billy Graham.
Isn't that amazing?
Same face.
People are insane, aren't they?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of earning a living off of it, so far be it from me to call them insane.
Here's another example of a woman who wanted her parakeet, who was born without a face, to look like...
This I said no to.
Jimmy Swaggart.
Wanted me to turn her parakeet into Jimmy Swaggart. She said instead of chirping or singing, that this parakeet would actually imitate a human cry. And the bird always seemed to be crying, and why not go the whhole way and Jimmy Swaggart.
To look like Jimmy Swaggart.
I can't work on birds.
I find this very hard.
They don't have the facial structure for me to work with.
you draw the line at certain points. One point you draw the Barasini brothers from Las Vegas got in touch with you to work on some of their orangutans.
Absolutely.
You drew the line on this. Tell us about that a little bit.
I said no. I said there isn't enough money in Las Vegas to get me to work on any of their orangutans. First of all, they're mistreated.
Right.
Second of all, what they wanted me to do was take several of their orangs and turn them into celebrity lookalikes. Cher, Michael Jackson, Wayne Newton, so on and so forth.
So that's the whole thing.
Right.
Okay.
And I knew this was strictly exploitive.
This is exploitive. I think it's a wonderful service that you're doing with these pets. What's next for you in terms of the big project? Anything coming up?
February 14th, which coincidentally is Valentine's Day.
Right.
I am performing a procedure on a Palomino horse. This will be my first horse. And I'm turning this horse into Daryl Hannah.
Then there was rock and roll legend Lionel Trains, who talked about his book, Leather Pants and Cucumbers. Your book, Leather Pants and Cucumbers?
Yes.
What does that mean exactly, the title?
Well, pants or trousers?
No, I meant like...
Well, a lot of rock stars, a lot of pop stars wear leather pants, as you might or might not have seen.
Right.
I don't know if you listen to that kind of music, but... And a great many of the pop stars and rock stars in the past, and in the present, today too, like to show themselves as well endowed as far as nasty bits.
Oh, so in other words...
a great many of them have been known to put cucumbers in their trousers.
That's what it is, cucumbers?
That's right.
To enlarge that area of the anatomy?
That's correct.
And so
Led Zeppelin, Small Faces, Kinks, Buddy Miles, all did that.
Led Zeppelin and Kinks?
Oh, by all means.
Mick Jagger?
Mick Jagger was so skinny, he couldn't possibly put a cucumber. He used a carrot.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Historically, you started guitar at the age of 11. Isn't that true?
I picked up my first guitar at the age of 11. Unfortunately, it was not my guitar. And as a result of that, I served some time in the juvenile correctional school.
Right.
And this was where I really learned to riff and to play.
Very good. Tell us about the Dave Clark Five. Weren't you part of that group?
Well, when I was with them, they was called the Dave Clark Six.
Yes.
And the thing was, no one in the group was named Dave Clark. So we would all take turns being Dave Clark at various performances. Then, and it was a great group. Frumpy Joe from the Fudge Ripple Blues Band, Carter Bean from Pink Nipple.
Right.
Fancy Pants McDaniels.
Right.
Great bass player. Anyway.
You were all part of this.
We were all, and then each night we'd take turns being Dave Clark. Then one day, lo and behold, we took a new member into the group, really named
Dave Clark.
Dave Clark.
You've got to be kidding me.
And he only insisted on doing his music, which bothered me. It was like it was pop bubblegum, and I didn't like the music, so we didn't get along. He bounced me out of the group, and it went from being the Dave Clark 6 to the Dave Clark 5, and they went on to have quite a bit of success without me.
And who can forget Louis Duvall, the crown prince of porn? Louis, tell us about your biggest commercial, your biggest commercial hit.
That would have to be A Rubber Runs Through It. That was a smash at the box office, and I think one of the contributing reasons was it was the first adult film to promote safe sex.
Very good.
Which I'm very proud of.
Very good.
Very proud of.
Because,
the scene.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Rubber Runs Through It. Melanie Mellons was stunning in that movie. And in one particular scene where the pizza delivery boy comes in, she forces him to wear a condom.
And this is
that started the wave of safe sex in adult
good.
films.
You're an innovator. You are a pioneer.
Well,
you've made so many contributions in terms of breakthrough contributions. You know.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of our couples in our films are kissing now.
Right.
To show that there's love between them.
Okay.
We have in recent months, the past 2 films, we have had couples kissing before and after doing it to show that there's no hard feelings. If you could delete any title from your massive titles. That would have to be When Harry Did Sally.
Okay.
When Harry Did Sally should have been a great movie. We had a phenomenal cast. Rita Hayloft was in there. In fact, Rita Hayloft and Clitoris Leachman for the first time together. Now, if that's not a blockbuster, if that doesn't have the earmarks of a hit, but that production was cursed from day one.
Right.
From day one. When Harry did salad, we were doing exterior shots out in the woods. So Rita Hayloft lays down in some poison sumac.
Right.
Within an hour, her body's covered with welts and hives.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
It stopped production for 4 days, and then all the welts and everything else, the hives, everything, they stayed for 10 days.
This is not someone that anyone would want to get...
We had a test screening up in Sacramento, Cork. Guys were yelling, "Yo, put the clothes back on," you know.
Then there was heterosexual cross-dresser Wendy Biederman, who showed us why she's a full-figured fox.
The first thing most men say is, hey, what's with the stash? You know, they ask about the mustache.
They do.
That's the first thing that...
Because I was going to ask you, what is with the stash? Is that...
Well, first of all, I'd like to point out,
right,
if I may, I'd like to point out that women with mustaches are very popular in Europe.
Good.
That's for starters. And secondly, if I ever decide to really go all the way,
right,
I'll get rid of the mustache then.
Really?
Yeah.
So actually, is there a desire on your part to carry the process out even further? I mean, for example, would you put yourself on the chopping block?
Well, look, I won't lie. I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I've thought about it extensively, and it's hard to say goodbye to Mr. Johnson and his two little friends.
That would be true.
They've been hanging around for a long time, so to speak.
Right.
And it's one thing to leave your heart in San Francisco, Corky. It's quite another to leave your balls in Denmark.
So
I don't know how...
That would be a tough decision.
I'm not ready for that commitment yet.
So in other words, you think about it, you're teetering. You're teetering a little bit. Are you teetering?
I am. I guess I am teetering. And speaking of teetering, I'd love to get myself a pair of those too.
And how about Adam Meltzler, who has the amazing ability to remember every meal he's ever eaten?
Dinner, New Year's Eve, 1989.
New Year's Eve, 1989, dinner. Clams Casino appetizer, Alaskan king crab entree, tossed salad with honey Dijon mustard, piece of stale pound cake for dessert.
Another favorite guest was multi-million-dollar lottery winner Orlando Barbosa.
This is the most phenomenal story. You've been in America 4 hours. Tell us.
Not anymore. Now I've been.
You've been here.
I've been here now 2 days.
But you came from El Salvador.
I come from El Salvador. I arrived in America.
Right.
At 10 minutes after 4 in the afternoon.
Right.
And at 8:15 that night.
Right.
I won $33 million.
You just won $33 million?
I love this land.
I interviewed him later to find out how he'd spent the money.
I investigated an investment. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's an investment opportunity called the Publishers Clearing House.
The Publishers Clearing House?
The Publishers Clearing House. Now, as I understand, you fill out the forms and you order some magazines and you can win $10 million.
Right.
Now.
But you've already got $30 million. Why do you need another $10 million?
You know, to make it more.
Oh, okay.
You know, the money makes money. You never heard that?
Wow. You're getting pretty sophisticated.
Please, I am the same bottle polisher I always was. But now, someone does the polishing for me, and I don't have bottles, I have a Mercedes-Benz. But anyway, that's beside the subject. So, I'm checking out this Publishers Clearing House.
Right.
And it occurred to me, when you send in the stuff, you have to put on the outside of the envelope whether you're ordering the magazines or you're not ordering magazines. So
that way they know which to choose.
I'm thinking, you order the magazines, you got a much, much better chance to win the $10 million.
Of course.
I'm not stupid, though.
No.
Okay, so then it occurs to me, the more magazines you order, the better your chances are even again.
So how many magazines did you order?
I ordered all of them.
Ah.
All of them.
So what happened?
So nothing.
Did you win the Publishers Clearing Sweepstakes?
No, I didn't win nothing. But no, I get 379 magazines every month, and you laugh, but my mail carrier is in the hospital.
Oh my goodness!
Has got a hernia.
So that's how you spent the money?
So I have a new mail person.
And last but not least, air traffic controller Pat McGarity, who got fired from LAX for stuttering and is suing them for a whopping $30 million. McGarity, welcome to Born to Kibitz. Thank you so much for being on our show. Don't be petrified about being on the news or on television. You look a little alarmed. But tell us, Pat, you're a successful air traffic controller, and they fire you. Why would they fire a professional air traffic controller? Why would they fire you?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I was the only reason I was fired was for stuttering.
They fired you for stuttering?
Stuttering.
Well, so you're saying that they didn't know that you had a speech impediment when LAX first hired you, or was it the stress of the job that
it comes out more under stress.
A stressful situation?
Yeah.
Forgive me for I don't mean to mean it by laughing, but why? Didn't they know that you stuttered before, or?
I stuttered a little bit in the interview.
Interview.
But they thought it was because I was nervous.
I see. So how long was your employment at LAX as an air traffic controller?
For 4 days.
4 days.
For 4 days.
So you're saying that now you're suing them for unlawful termination and well, how is that discrimination? If they recognize that your speech impairment could lead to some difficulties in the...
I know a lot of people working at LAX who have, you know, I know pilots who lisp. They still have their jobs. I know a flight attendant
right.
who spits when she talks. She still has her job. I know Asian ticket agent who can't pronounce